A powerful 6.3 magnitude earthquake hit northern Afghanistan earlier this morning, according to the United States Geological Survey. Now, Freedom data indicates the quake struck at a depth of about 28 kilometers near the Mazar-e-Sharif. Now, that's the capital of the Balkh province and also one of the region's most populous cities, as well as the nearby town of Kulm early Monday morning local time. Meanwhile, reports are suggesting that hundreds are feared dead or buried under the rubble. Meanwhile, Afghan journalist Amrullah Osmani gets us the latest from Afghanistan.
So, thank you for having me. After a 6.3 magnitude earthquake struck Kabul in several provinces, especially the northern provinces of Afghanistan, late last night. According to the National Disaster Management Agency, said the epicenter of the earthquake was Samar province, and also there, according to the latest, according to the local sources, 20 people killed and more than 320 people injured. And also this earthquake caused financial and human losses, especially in Mazar-e-Sharif and Samangan provinces.
US President Donald Trump said on Sunday that Chinese leader Xi Jinping has assured him that Beijing will not seek to unify Taiwan with mainland China during his presidency, at least. Now, Trump also added that the sensitive issue of Taiwan never even came up during their recent face-to-face meeting, the first meeting in 6 years held in South Korea's Busan on Thursday last week. Now, the talks primarily in South Korea, viewers, centered around the ongoing US-China trade tensions. Donald Trump has also refused to confirm or refute plans of carrying strikes against Venezuela, but expressed doubts over that the US is moving to war with this country. I doubt it. I don't think so, Trump said in a response to questions whether the US is going to war against Venezuela amid the dispatch of Gerald Ford aircraft carrier to the Caribbean Sea. Here's more.
How can I answer a question like that? Are there plans for a strike on Venezuela? Who would say that? Supposing there were, would I say that to you? We have very secret plans. Who would say that? You know, what kind of a question is it?
Police have identified a 32-year-old man as the sole suspect in a stabbing attack aboard a train travelling from Doncaster to London's King's Cross station. Now, the incident, viewers, occurred on Saturday evening, shortly before the 2000 hours GMT, when the train was actually stopped in Huntingdon, Cambridgeshire. A railway staff member, in fact, remains in critical condition. The 35-year-old man, initially arrested at the scene, has been released without charges after police confirmed he was mistakenly identified and had been reported in good faith. Meanwhile, in total, 11 people were taken to hospital following the attack, with British Transport Police also confirming on Sunday evening that 5 had since been discharged. Meanwhile, take a look at this AP report. But before that, viewers, here's an eyewitness account.
Just listening to music, just having a good time, and then I see that 5 rows ahead of me, a guy in a white t-shirt just jumps out of his seat out of nowhere and starts flew. And I was thinking, what's happened? There was me thinking maybe something happened to him. And then people started shouting from our coach, "Oh, he's got a knife." He was just a black bearded guy wearing all black and a hoodie. I didn't see the knife he was holding because I'm guessing it was already in the body or something, yeah.
Now this Doncaster to London King's Cross, one of Britain's busiest intercity routes. It's a well-used commuter and leisure line that carries thousands of passengers each day between northern England and the capital. The service was heading south through eastern England, having passed through Peterborough when the attack began. The train made an emergency stop at Huntingdon, where armed police boarded within minutes, detaining suspects and helping paramedics reach the injured. Passengers have said they saw panic spreading through the carriages, people rushing down the aisle, shouting for others to move and trying to get away from the violence unfolding. One passenger even said they thought this might be a Halloween prank until they realised it was in fact blood on their hands. For now, the train remains at Huntington as a major crime scene. Forensic teams will be moving through carriage by carriage, collecting evidence and reviewing CCTV, mapping those key sequence of events. We say the investigation is still in its early stages and it's being led by British Transport Police, the UK specialist force for railway network. It's not being treated as a terrorist incident, though, but detectives are keeping an open mind as they work to establish what caused this attack.
We shift our focus to Eurasia now, viewers, where Russia said on Sunday that its forces had struck besieged Ukrainian troops in Kherson region. Meanwhile, in the Donetsk region, by the Ukrainian side reported on the same day of repelling Russian attack. Russia's Ministry of Defense said in its daily briefing Sunday that its forces continue to strike besieged Ukrainian troops around the railway station in Donetsk and nearby industrial zones, and have also repelled 9 enemy attacks in northern and northwestern directions. On the other side, the General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces reported on the same day that since early Sunday morning, Russian forces have launched offensives against Ukrainian forces from multiple regions in the direction of Pokrovsk. Ukrainian Defense Forces, meanwhile, claim to successfully repel 36 Russian attacks. Riot police separated opponents and loyalists of Serbia's autocratic president Alexander Vučić as flares were lit and bottles were thrown between either side. Now, as the jostling in Belgrade soared one day after tens of thousands of people joined a huge rally in the northern city of Novi Sad, marking the first anniversary of a train station disaster which killed 16 people. Meanwhile, protesters in Belgrade gathered in support of Gianna Harka, the mother of Stefan Harka, a victim in the deadly canopy collapse last year. Gianna earlier on Sunday said she was launching a hunger strike near the 10th camp outside the parliament building, which has been occupied by Vučić's loyalists ever since March. Listen in.
Došla žena zašto je poginulo dete da štrajkuje glađu i oni izvedu pandure da je sklone. Kad je Toma Nikolić štrajkao, od njegov fenomenalno štrajkao, otišao je Tadić, makar ga pogledao. Ovaj ne sme ni da pogleda Dijanu.
Oh, in the West, viewers, a video showing Erika Kirk, widow of slain Conservative leader Charlie Kirk, embracing US Vice President J.D. Vance at a public event. Well, this image has ignited widespread speculation online. And why has it done so? Well, speaking in an interview about the media restrictions to quote the proceedings of Tyler Robinson, the very man accused of killing her husband, Erika said her life has been under constant public scrutiny. She added that ever since, cameras have captured her every move, every smile, and every tear. They should also be allowed to record what happens inside the courtroom. Over in the Middle East, tensions are continuing to simmer, viewers, with Lebanon's health ministry saying that 4 men were killed and 3 others wounded in an Israeli strike on Kfar Ruman late Saturday in southern Lebanon. Now, the total number of casualties since the ceasefire agreement in November 24 has gone up to more than 300 killed and some 600 plus wounded. Now, since the 14-month Israel-Hezbollah war ended with a US-brokered ceasefire back in November, Israel has carried out almost daily strikes on Lebanon that have left scores of people dead, many of them even civilians. In the southern city of Dabache, hundreds of mourners and Hezbollah supporters meanwhile attended a funeral procession of 5 Hezbollah militants killed on the previous 2 days. Across the southern border, viewers, the remains of 3 hostages that were handed over from Gaza arrived late on Sunday in Tel Aviv to be examined by forensic experts as a month-old ceasefire holds. A Hamas statement earlier said the remains were found Sunday in a tunnel in southern Gaza. Before Sunday, Palestinian militants had released the remains of 17 hostages, with 11 remaining in Gaza still since the ceasefire began on the 10th of October, mind you. Militants have released 1 or 2 bodies every few days. Meanwhile, Israel has urged faster progress, and in certain cases, it has also said that the remains aren't off any hostage. Hamas says the work is complicated by widespread devastation in the besieged enclave. Mourners on Sunday, meanwhile, filled the streets of a city in western Mexican state of Michoacan to pay tribute to its mayor, who was killed during the Day of the Dead festivities across the country. Now, crowds chanted justice as they followed the hearse carrying European Mayor Carlos Alberto Rodriguez, who was shot dead the night before. People tossed flowers and applauded as it passed, while a mariachi band played and the mayor's hat rested on his horse's back. A final tribute, they say, to the man many described as devoted to his community. Here's more.
Los malos ya no querían ser agredidos por el presidente, por eso ya él sí estaba logrando muchas cosas sobre nosotros los michoacanos, sobre Uruapan, estaba logrando muchas cosas, por eso lo mandaron y ahora estamos en luto.
U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is on a two-day visit to South Korea through the 4th of November. Why is he here? Well, to hold security talks with its South Korean counterpart after leaving Vietnam's capital on Monday. Hegseth said addressing the legacies of the Vietnam War, which ended 50 years ago in April, remains the foundation and a top priority of the country's defense relationship. Now, at the end of his talks with Vietnamese Defense Minister, viewers, Hegseth handed over a leather box, a belt and a small knife, wartime artifacts one taken by US soldiers during the Vietnam War. Hegseth's visit also marks 30 years of diplomatic ties between the former foes and 2 years since they upgraded relations to a comprehensive strategic partnership, Vietnam's highest diplomatic status. Police in Chicago's suburb are collecting videos and other evidence to send to the Illinois Attorney General's office after a car crash involving a U.S. Border Patrol vehicle led to a violent arrest caught on video right there on his screens right now, showing an agent repeatedly punching a man in the head while the man is pinned to the ground. Graphic visuals coming in there, viewer discretion is advised. Immigration agents arrested 3 people after a sedan collided with the rear of a U.S. Border Patrol vehicle at around noon Friday in the city of Evanston. The episode, viewers, draw a crowd of onlookers and quickly escalated. Videos posted to social media showed some in the crowd appearing to try to interfere with the arrests as well.